What's going on, everyone? My name is Simon Parker, and welcome to another video. Whoa! Uh, that's so dumb. But anyway, I'm going to keep it because I've made so many videos. I've made about three different videos on two different subjects about what I'm going to do. But I figured I would just stick to the original. I think the reviews of Mafia Old Country are complete bullshit. Um, I don't care about monetization. I don't care. Fuck you, YouTube. Who cares? Suck my dick. But I think the only reason Mafia Old World, Old Country, I should say, has so many bad reviews is because of how much of Mafia 3 was such a flop. But I don't. I think people who review games, unlike me, have some bullets in their head. They are just dumb as hell. Mafia 1 was so good because it was about mafia. It was about being nothing, then becoming the top guy. Mafia 2 was like you start as nothing, then being the top guy in a mafia, an actual mafia. Mafia 3 was being a special forces secret military thing that went into Vietnam and you absolutely destroyed everyone and killed everything. You are an absolute unit. That is the beginning of Mafia 3. I mean, you beat Mafia 3. You start Mafia 3 by being the best guy, basically. And then the rest of Mafia 3 is killing a mafia. You're not really a mafia yourself. You just there's like parts of Mafia 3 where like you have your guys, you have your three guys, like you have three guys, they're the leaders of different districts, and you give like different districts to like whoever you want, and the others either get like pissed if they don't get a new district, like the more you give them to someone else. So it's like kind of like a mafia. It's like a mafia game in that sense that you are the mafia killing other mafia, but then in that sense you are the don. Okay, let me put it like this: you are the don, meaning the head guy in the mafia that does all the work, and while you're killing the other mafia. That doesn't make any sense because the whole it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's a like a okay. Let me say it like this: the game Mafia 3 has a strong tone of black America. During it's like right after Vietnam, so well, right, it's during Vietnam, so racism is still a thing. The KKK is still a big thing. Apparently it's not. Apparently it doesn't exist, but it very much is a big thing. And I feel like that if they turned like the killing the KKK bit and like if you just keep Mafia 3 as Mafia 3 and then just remove the Mafia bit, I feel like that would have been a great game. Instead of doing all this thing where like you're taking over like whatever the country was or town was or state was, that you just like instead of you remove the Mafia bit and just keep on the killing the racists bit, that would have been great. But they put something that wasn't a Mafia game on top of the Mafia name, and then people just started hating it. But the reason people are so dumb is because you have a Mafia game with a Mafia title. I used to play Mafia games before I was allowed to play GTA because I was too young to play GTA 5 and GTA 4 when it came out. My first GTA game was GTA 4 when GTA 5 was already like 4 or 5 years out. Um, it has probably it had a lot to do with my age, but I feel like GTA 4 was a lot more graphic than GTA 5. Anyway, we so the way people usually review games is that when there's a sequel, you review the new game based on the old game, and that's what we're doing now. But the old game isn't what we should be looking at. Like I said again, GTA 3, Mafia 3 should never have been a Mafia game. It should have been called the American Truth, something like that. But it wasn't that. It was a Mafia game. It wasn't a Mafia game with the Mafia title. I would say that. But what reviewers need to do now is look at Mafia Old Country with the with the Mafia 1 and 2. So another bit about Mafia 3 that took away from it is I mentioned it again. I mentioned it, but it wasn't a mafia. It wasn't a mafia. Mafia is inherently an Italian thing. You were Italian in Mafia 1, you were Italian in Mafia 2, you were black in Mafia 3, and you were Italian in Mafia Old Country. Everything that was maf like I don't know how to tell you this without just playing the entirety of Mafia 1, 2, and 3 without okay, so okay. This is okay, so the people who haven't played any Mafia game, think about it like this. The way the way sequels the way to make a good sequel, right? You need three things, right? Good gameplay, good story, and it needs to it needs to stay in line of what the first one was. So you have GTA San Andreas, which was you're a gangster that takes over bits of the. I don't haven't played San Andreas, but from what you're an old gangster who goes back to the gang and then does the story bit. GTA 4 was you're like a gangster who went to America who's trying to drop the gangster thing, and then you do your life, but then you get investigated and things like that. GTA 5, you play as three guys: Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Where did the S come from? I don't know. Um, but you rob banks, and there's a bit of a gangster thing because Franklin grew up in the hood. I think you would say I'm not a part. Yeah, and so you can see from my description where it went from um um it went from old gangster going back to the gang first game in this scenario. Second game, gangster leaves the gang. Um, Last game, there's still a gangster thing there, but it's inherently from the first mission that he's trying to get out, and most of the game is him out of it doing this whatever it is that he's doing. Mafia 1 is a gangster thing. Mafia 2 is a gangster thing. Mafia 3 isn't a gangster thing in any sense of the word. And unless you want to talk about the main guy having leaders that lead gangs, but then you're not leading the gang, you're leading the guys who lead the gang. And you're not leading the gang, you're just killing people and then going, you can have this bit now. That's the only Mafia bits of the game, and then Mafia 3, Mafia Old Country, which is then Mafia 4, um, you go back to the Mafia bit. As of recording, it's Wednesday the 6th, Wednesday the 6th, and it comes out on Friday the 8th. Um, so I haven't played it yet. I've watched the main trailer when it was first announced, and I haven't watched any other trailers yet. But like the main quote from the game, I can remember because it's on every trailer that's now being released. Well, adverts. I mean, when I watch YouTube, when it's ads come up and it's the game, the first thing that is said to the first thing that is said to talk about and promote the game is the Dons have noticed you, which means it's an inherent mafia thing, and also they have an Italian accent, so it's very very obvious that it's based in Italy, and you can see when they show a bit of the gameplay thing in the trailer that it's very Italian. So they're definitely going back to their old ways, which every game that has failed in a sequel should do. They should go back to the first game. They should make so they should always any game that has fallen off, should I say, if it's a sequel, they should 100% go back to like the game that had the most positive reviews. Don't remaster it, make it better. Like, okay, like you've won, you've beaten the main boss, but what happens after? So like, okay, in so like this is what I didn't understand, right? Right. Perfect example. The last mission of Mafia 2, you kill, I think, the main bad guy, and you come out of the observatory, whatever it is, and like the head honcho, I think, comes out and talks to you, and you guys drive away, and your best friend who's been with you this entire game gets driven off somewhere else, and you're not really told where he goes. I think he dies or whatever. But the perfect if for and then right, the next game, which I keep talking about, and that failed so much, what this game needs to do, or should have done, or maybe shouldn't have done, they shouldn't have done it. They didn't do it. But if it would have made sense if hell, maybe they would do it. I haven't played it. Maybe it happens. Probably not because of timeline and stuff. But they should have been like the fourth game, if they wanted to do it, should have been they what happens in that car journey when they get when your character gets taken away, and then what happens after that. Maybe maybe he kills the guy in the car and starts his own mafia, and then the mafia that you were part of is just like hunting you and you're hunting them now. That would have been great. So I'm going to end off this by saying, if I am 100% wrong and all like the graphics and stuff is okay, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm not going to apologize, but I will hold my hand up and say yeah, it sucked. But if it is good, it's okay. If it's good, it's going to be possibly game of the year, only because they're following in the footsteps of the first two games, and the first two games were extraordinary. You won't find one person who said those two games were crap. They were extremely good. I loved Mafia 2. Mafia 2 brought me into the Mafia game. I loved Mafia 2. Then I played Mafia 1, and then turns out the main character in Mafia 2 kills the guy in Mafia 1. Then I hated Mafia 2 and I didn't play it because I hated that character so much and I loved Vito so much, who's the main character of 1. So if it's good, it's Game of the Year worthy. If it's bad, then I am not willing to apologize, but I'm gonna put my hand up and say it sucked. So go down in the description, tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys once I've played it for a bit. I will see you guys in the next video. My name has been Simon Parker. See you then.